there have been a number of protests around the Nasrec Centre following the G20 Leaders Summit. Of course, police have arrested about 3 people in just a space of, a couple of hours, 2 of those in relation to a protest and 1 in relation to an attempted hijacking. The police, of course, has a huge deployment across Johannesburg and Tshwane. You would have seen a high police visibility. We've got Brigadier Athlenda Mate in studio with me today. Athlenda, very good afternoon to you. I know it's been a busy period for you. Before we talk about the operation itself, help us unpack this latest arrest. We understand that 2 people were arrested from Dudula. Speak to us about what happened there.
A very good afternoon and thank you for the opportunity. I can confirm that we have arrested 2 Dudula members following a protest that was at one of the 4 speakers' corners that we allocated for those interest groups that would like to air their grievances, that would like to protest. So what happened is that these interest groups arrived at around 9 o'clock in the morning. By 11, they started being unruly. They were forcefully marching towards the venue and they were attempting to block the Baragwanath and I think Nasrec Road. And that is a very key road that leads to Nasrec. That is the road used by, foreign heads of state, the dignitaries to access the Nasrec venue. So our public order policing members attempted to warn these protesters that what they were doing was not in line with what we are expecting them to act. And they resisted and there was a scuffle. They started attacking police officers. They started throwing objects. They even took out pepper spray and so on. And as a result, we actually have 1 police officer that was admitted to a local hospital because of his injuries. So what we have done is that we have registered the case against Dudula. Firstly, of public violence, secondly, of assaulting of a police officer, and thirdly, of contravening the court order. You'll remember that they were handed down a court order not to intimidate and harass foreign nationals. So we deem them trying to or attempting to block that key route as a way of intimidating and harassing foreign heads of state not to get to the venue and just to disrupt the proceedings of the G20 Leaders Summit. We have long maintained as the nut joints that we will leave nothing to chance, and we have adequate measures in place to ensure that this event takes place in a safe and secure environment.
Talk to us about what the 2 individuals are facing. What can you tell us about them? Are they leaders within Dudula or just protesters?
Well, for now, because we are still conducting the investigations, they're just attached to Dudula. They are members of Dudula. One is a 48-year-old man and the other is a 54-year-old man. So like I've indicated, the charges there, public violence, assaulting of a police officer and contravention of the court order that was handed down to them to say, you are not allowed to intimidate and harass foreign nationals.
So there's been another arrest. Speak to us about this. I mean, this is sounds a bit bizarre, an attempted hijacking.
Yeah. So we had another incident last night where a brazen hijacker attempted to hijack a vehicle that has been allocated to us for the G20. Unbeknown to that particular hijacker, the people that he was trying to hijack were actually members of our National Intervention Unit.
Wow.
That respond to only medium and high-risk incidents. So he pointed a firearm at the driver and police were left with no choice but to defend themselves, and they shot and wounded that particular hijacker. He is now under arrest. He's under police guard in hospital, and when he's fit to appear in court, he will then be taken to court and face a charge of attempted carjacking.
And this was a lone attempted hijacker?
Well, he could have been with other role players, but at that time we noticed this particular suspect who pointed a firearm at the driver, and thanks to our quick thinking and fast responding members, they managed to then fight back, and only to find out that actually this hijacker was actually holding an imitation firearm, like a replica firearm. But remember, in terms of the Firearms Control Act, if you're utilizing a replica firearm to commit crime, then you are committing a serious offence and you may face arrest and imprisonment.
Absolutely. Azenda, let's now talk about your operations thus far. We know, of course, you had a major media briefing as the NAT joins, just talking about your operation. We know that 3,500 additional new members were deployed at various stations. Speak to us about how it has been so far. We know, of course, we've seen you handling other international events. And this one specifically, what are the challenges? What are some of the successes?
No challenges experienced thus far. The G20 Leaders Summit.
Except for the attempted
yeah. Well, that's day-to-day policing.
Yeah.
No major incidents. And when you refer to the Dudula protest, there was no disruption at all. So we managed to contain the situation because of our vigilant police officers that prevented the disruptions from actually taking place at the G20 Leaders Summit. But so far, everything is running smooth. Our operational plan is unfolding accordingly. We do believe that we have put the necessary measures in place to ensure that this event, just like many others, your 2010 World Cup, your BRICS Summit, your AGOA conference, like this event, we know and we are quite confident that this event will also take place in a safe and secure environment. Our members are on the ground. We are working closely with other law enforcement agencies. We've got your JMPD, National Traffic, your EMPD, and so on, and many other stakeholders that are really working hard to secure this particular event. And thank you to the many South Africans who have really welcomed our international visitors in the true spirit of Ubuntu. I think it just shows the character of our citizens, in that, no major incidents have taken place. The only challenge was the Dudula protest and that hijacker who took chances on the police.
I would imagine that as we wrap up our conversation, that leading up to the festive season period, it also becomes a high vigilance, period for you particularly. What are some of the operations that you will keep going into the festive season, or have you already started those plans too?
Yeah, so we started our Safer Festive operations as early as in October. So they have been running. They are running concurrently with Operation Shanela. And in the past 7 days, we've seen the arrest of more than 17,000 suspects for various crimes, your murder, attempted murder, rape, and so on. We've seized 121 unlicensed firearms so far. So that is the work of our men and women in blue. And we will continue to serve and protect the people of this country. We'd like to assure the people of South Africa that at the stations, the work continues. None of the police officers that are at the summits were actually taken from the police stations. So we will still serve you. We will still cater for the needs of ordinary South Africans.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Brigadier, for chatting to us.